Let me hit you with two quick, shocking facts. First, a landmark study in the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia, and Muscle showed that by age 70, many people are living with a 30% reduction in muscle strength compared to their peak. Second, this isn't just about feeling weak. Researchers at the University of Florida found that severe muscle loss, or sarcopenia, can double your risk of hospitalization. If you've ever noticed your legs feel heavier, your grip is weaker, or you're just not bouncing back as fast as you used to, I want you to know this is not just normal aging. This is a battle you can absolutely win, and the secret is far simpler and cheaper than those expensive protein shakes or gym memberships. My name is Frank Taylor, and at 68 years young, I've spent a lot of time thinking about these very questions. Now, I want to be clear, I am not a medical doctor or a geriatrician. My journey over the past decade has been a bit different. I've dedicated my retirement to being a sort of health detective for folks just like us. I spend my days digging into the latest clinical studies, and I want to emphasize that all the research I mention will always be linked in the description below every video, so you can check it for yourself. My goal is to take that complex scientific information and turn it into practical advice that we can actually use in our daily lives. And one of the most
deeply
surprising
interconnected
truths
at a
I've found
fundamental
is
level.
this.
These
The
shelves
most
contain more
powerful
than just
tools to
paper and
combat
ink. They hold the
sarcopenia
very
are already
foundation of
sitting
human
in your
knowledge,
kitchen
spanning
cabinet. Today, we are diving deep into the 5-cent secret, a handful of common spices proven by science to target the root causes of muscle loss, chronic inflammation, and anabolic resistance. Here's our roadmap. First, we'll quickly break down the two main enemies of your muscle cells. Then I'll reveal the 5 specific spices, the science behind why they work, and the ridiculously simple way to use them every single day. Trust me, you'll be shocked by the science on the 5th one. But before we begin, let me know in the comments right now. What is your biggest daily struggle with muscle or joint weakness? Now, let's get into the science. Sarcopenia, the two silent enemies of your muscles. Now that we've established the threat, that terrifying loss of strength and independence, it's time to move beyond the fear and dive into the scientific solution. To fix the problem of muscle loss after 65, we must first understand the enemy. This isn't random aging. It is a targeted, two-pronged biological attack on your muscle cells. Enemy number 1, chronic low-grade inflammation, the silent fire. When you were younger, inflammation was your body's best friend. If you broke a bone or got a bad cut, inflammation rushed in. That was the swelling, the heat, to fix the damage. We call that acute inflammation. It's short-term, targeted, and beneficial. But what happens to the vast majority of us as we get older, often due to years of modern diet, stress, and reduced physical activity, is a profound shift to something called chronic, low-grade systemic inflammation. Forget the image of an ambulance healing a wound. I want you to visualize this as a tiny, persistent candle flame burning 24/7 inside your body's cellular engine. It doesn't hurt enough to send you to the doctor, so you ignore it. But that tiny, constant flame is constantly creating microscopic damage and signaling danger. Here's the deep science made simple. This chronic flame is fueled by molecular messengers. We call them pro-inflammatory cytokines, like interleukin-6, IL-6, and tumor necrosis factor alpha, TNF-alpha. You don't need to memorize those names. Think of them as tiny, highly aggressive, stop building signs placed directly in front of your muscle cells, construction sites. Let me give you some hard data on this. A landmark study from Tufts University, published in the prestigious Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA, found a direct correlation. Older adults with the highest blood levels of IL-6 had double the rate of severe muscle loss over a 3-year period compared to those with lower levels. This isn't just a coincidence. This proves IL-6 is an active driver of sarcopenia, and it gets worse with TNF-alpha. Scientists at the National Institute on Aging, NIA, observed that TNF-alpha actively tags healthy muscle proteins for destruction via something called the ubiquitin proteasome pathway. Imagine your body hiring a demolition crew. TNF-alpha marks the healthy proteins, and the ubiquitin proteasome crew comes and tears down the structure you already have. So, chronic inflammation is not just stopping construction, it is tearing down the healthy muscle you already possess. This constant, slow-burn inflammation acts like internal rust on the sophisticated machinery that builds your muscle protein. You wouldn't expect a rusty car engine to perform well, would you? This internal rust slows down your metabolism, impairs recovery, and makes it incredibly difficult to see muscle gains from exercise, leading to a net loss of strength over time. Before we move to the second enemy, let me quickly ask you, have you felt that unexplained general fatigue or generalized body ache that doctors often dismiss as just getting older? That subtle, persistent discomfort could be your first warning sign of this low-grade chronic inflammation at work. Share your experience in the comments below. Your story helps us all. Enemy number 2, anabolic resistance, the muffled signal. This is the second, equally dangerous part of the sarcopenia equation. This enemy is more subtle because it hijacks your attempts to do the right thing. We all know muscle requires protein. Protein breaks down into amino acids, which are the vital building blocks. You can religiously eat a perfect high-protein meal, but if your muscle cells can't hear the signal to use those blocks, the effort and the expense is wasted. As we age, and especially with that chronic inflammation burning in the background, our muscle cells develop something called anabolic resistance. Let's break down the term anabolic. Anabolic means to build up. Resistance means to fight against. So, anabolic resistance simply means your muscle cells are fighting the fundamental signal to build. Here is the powerful analogy. Think of your protein intake as a series of loud, clear voice commands. When you're young, you eat a protein source, and your muscle cells immediately hear the command, build, repair, grow. The signal is loud and clear. But with anabolic resistance, your muscle cells are wearing cellular earplugs. They are now profoundly less sensitive to that vital signal. The command, build, goes in, but the cell only hears a muffled whisper. The threshold problem. This leads to what researchers call the leucine threshold. Pioneering work by Dr. Douglas Patton-Jones at the University of Texas has proven that young people only need about 15 to 20 grams of protein per meal to maximize muscle protein synthesis. But due to anabolic resistance, older adults, 65 plus, need a much higher threshold, at least 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein per meal, to generate a signal strong enough to penetrate those cellular earplugs. That's why simply eating an egg and a piece of toast for breakfast is scientifically insufficient. The master switch, mTOR. The physical location of this resistance is a complex mechanism called the mTOR pathway. Think of mTOR as the master switch for all muscle growth. It's the cellular mechanism that detects the amino acids, takes the signal, and flips the switch to on, starting the building process. Pioneering work by Dr. Volpe and Dr. Rasmussen, also at the University of Texas, confirmed that as we age, the ability to flip this mTOR master switch efficiently is severely diminished. Chronic inflammation and oxidative stress make this switch sticky and sluggish. Why the spices are the true secret. So we have a clear scientific problem. Rust, chronic inflammation, and muffled signals, anabolic resistance. This is precisely why simply eating more protein or starting a generic walking program often falls short of reversing sarcopenia. You must address the underlying biology. The true secret, the 5-cent secret, is finding compounds that are potent enough to do two things simultaneously. First, quiet that systemic chronic inflammation. Remove the rust. Second, help unplug those cellular ear PLGs and make the mTOR switch less sticky. Resensitize the anabolic signals. And the truly amazing thing is, the compounds that do this most effectively are not found in rare, expensive supplements. They are found in simple, powerful kitchen spices, scientifically proven to be potent natural medicines that help your cells hear the vital build signal loud and clear again. Are you ready to see which 5 spices can perform this cellular magic? Let's jump straight into number 1, the anti-inflammatory powerhouse. Debunking the sarcopenia myths, why expensive isn't always effective. Before we finally dive into the amazing 5 spices, our 5-cent secret, we have one critical step left. We need to clear the field of common misconceptions. We need to talk about the widespread, often expensive solutions you're being sold to fight muscle loss, and why they fundamentally fail to solve the biological issues we just discussed: chronic inflammation and anabolic resistance. Many people spend hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars chasing two things they believe are the magic bullet, and they often end up frustrated and broke: massive protein supplements and aggressive high-intensity exercise. Myth 1. The more protein powder, the better. Every commercial, every influencer, and every marketing ad tells you to buy the largest, most expensive tub of whey, casein, or plant protein powder, based on the simple assumption that more protein automatically equals more muscle. This is a half-truth, and for the senior dealing with sarcopenia, it's a costly misconception. Now, remember what we learned about anabolic resistance. Your muscle cells are wearing those cellular earplugs. The scientific truth is, simply dumping 50 grams of standard protein powder into a shaker doesn't guarantee a signal strong enough to penetrate that resistance. For an older adult, particularly one dealing with natural age-related changes in gut motility and digestive enzyme secretion, your body may only absorb and effectively utilize a fraction of that expensive dose. If you haven't addressed the underlying inflammation, you are essentially flushing good money and valuable protein down the drain. The leucine signal revisited. We know that older adults need to hit a higher threshold of the critical amino acid, leucine, the primary activator of the mTOR switch, in a single meal. While most powders contain leucine, if the powder is consumed on its own, or if the absorption is poor due to gut inflammation, the leucine signal will be too weak. The evidence. A comprehensive review published in the Journal of Gerontology highlighted that many older adults consume protein passively throughout the day, which is ineffective. The muscle needs a pulsed high dose to overcome resistance. If your inflammation levels are high, that expensive whey powder is only operating at maybe 40% efficiency because inflammatory cytokines are actively blocking the mTOR signal. It's like pouring premium fuel into a rusty engine with clogged fuel lines. You think you are doing the right thing, but your body can't process the value. So, before you buy another container of powder, we must ask, how do we unplug the earplugs and clear the lines so the cells can actually hear the protein signal? Our spices are the key to this cellular fine-tuning. Myth 2. You need high-intensity, heavy-lifting exercise. Go hard or go home. The second pervasive myth is that you must join a CrossFit gym and immediately start lifting the heavy weights you did in your 40s, the go hard or go home mentality. While resistance training is the single most important lifestyle factor, and I cannot stress that enough, the assumption that it must be high intensity is often discouraging, sometimes dangerous and scientifically unnecessary for effective growth in seniors. The injury trap. For a body already contending with existing joint wear and tear and that persistent low-grade inflammation, aggressive heavy lifting with questionable form is an invitation to disaster. A knee or shoulder injury instantly causes a spike in acute inflammation, the big, angry brother of our enemy number one, putting you completely out of commission for weeks or months. This creates a destructive sarcopenia accelerating cycle. Try hard, get injured, inflammation spikes, muscle wastes away, and your independence declines. The science of effort. Low-load training. Pioneering research by experts like Dr. Stuart Phillips at McMaster University confirms that older adults can achieve comparable muscle growth, hypertrophy, using much lighter loads, sometimes only 30% to 50% of your max lift, provided you push that set close to muscular failure. The stimulus is the effort and the training volume, not the weight. You can achieve safe, phenomenal results using resistance bands, light dumbbells, or body weight, focusing on slow, controlled repetitions. Consistency is king, and consistency demands safety. The cortisol cost. Furthermore, sustained high-intensity stress, especially for those over 65, can unnecessarily elevate cortisol levels. Cortisol is a highly catabolic, muscle-breaking hormone. If you overtrain, you can inadvertently stimulate the very hormone that works against your muscle-building efforts, thereby canceling out the benefits of your workout. The flawed foundation. Why these solutions fail. The reason these two common, expensive solutions so often disappoint is that they fail to address the core biological environment. Chronic inflammation and the sticky mTOR switch. You can try to shout louder at the cells by taking more protein, and you can try to shake the building by lifting heavier, but until you put out that underlying candle flame and remove the cellular rust, your results will be minimal, frustratingly inconsistent, and unsatisfying. Our 5-cent secret is special because it works synergistically. It's engineered to quiet the inflammation and clean up the cellular receptors first. This is the cellular tune-up you've been waiting for, allowing your necessary protein intake, even from regular, affordable whole foods, and your safe, consistent resistance training to finally work at 100% efficiency. It is time to stop wasting money on products that only work halfway. Were you surprised by these myths? Let me know in the comments if you've been wasting money or risking injury following this outdated advice. Now, let's stop wasting time and money and unlock the real power of your kitchen. It's time to reveal the spices. The 5-cent secret revealed. 5 spices that attack inflammation and anabolic resistance. We've established that sarcopenia isn't just about age. It's about internal rust, chronic inflammation, and muffled signals, anabolic resistance. You need a solution that attacks both of these enemies simultaneously. The great news is you don't need a pharmacy. You need a pantry. The 5-cent secret is about 5 common kitchen spices that, when used together, become a powerful synergistic defense against muscle loss. Each spice addresses a unique weakness in the aging muscle cell. 1. The core powerhouse, turmeric, the inflammation firefighter. Our number 1 spice, the absolute core of this secret, is turmeric. The science here is irrefutable and profound. Its active compound, curcumin, is one of nature's most potent anti-inflammatory agents. Remember those stop building signs, the inflammatory molecules IL-6 and TNF-alpha. Clinical trials have repeatedly shown curcumin's ability to drastically downregulate these markers. A study in the European Journal of Applied Physiology showed that curcumin supplementation significantly reduced muscle damage markers and inflammatory cytokines in older participants after strenuous exercise. This is huge. Frank's take. Turmeric doesn't just mask muscle pain, it targets the root biological cause of the rust, cleaning up the cellular environment. By reducing the noise of inflammation, your muscle cells can start receiving those build signals clearly again. It is the foundation upon which the rest of our secret is built. 2. The essential partner, black pepper, the cellular amplifier. But turmeric has one critical flaw: poor bioavailability. Your body struggles to absorb enough curcumin to make a difference. This brings us to our essential partner, black pepper. Its main compound, piperine, is the reason why this 5-cent secret is so effective and affordable. Research has shown that piperine can increase the systemic absorption of curcumin by a phenomenal 2,000%. Without black pepper, you are wasting your turmeric. It's that simple. Frank's take: piperine is your cellular absorption booster. Beyond its role with turmeric, piperine has been studied for its ability to improve the absorption of other key nutrients, including amino acids. By adding a simple pinch of black pepper to your high-protein meals, you are effectively increasing the nutritional value of your food and taking off those cellular earplugs, allowing your body to more efficiently grab the protein it needs to activate the mTOR pathway. It turns your regular food into a superfood. 3. The anabolic optimizer, cinnamon, the insulin recam sensitizer. Next up is a spice beloved in holiday baking, but its scientific power against sarcopenia is anything but sweet: cinnamon. We learned that anabolic resistance is strongly linked to poor insulin sensitivity, the body's ability to use insulin effectively. When insulin sensitivity is low, your body struggles to shuttle glucose. And crucially, it struggles to shuttle amino acids into the muscle cells. It hinders the growth signal. Cinnamon contains powerful polyphenols that act as insulin mimetics, meaning they literally mimic or potentiate the action of insulin in your body. A major meta-analysis published in the journal Diabetes Care suggests regular cinnamon consumption can significantly improve blood glucose control, which in turn improves overall insulin sensitivity. Frank's take: by improving how your cells respond to insulin, cinnamon indirectly makes your muscle cells more responsive to protein. It's working to unplug those earplugs from a metabolic angle, ensuring that when you eat your required 30 grams of protein, the signal is strong and effective. It makes your cells pay attention again. This is a massive, inexpensive win against metabolic aging. 4. The recovery accelerator, ginger, the consistency enforcer. Our fourth spice is an ancient remedy that acts as your muscle's personal recovery coach: ginger. While ginger is a potent full-body anti-inflammatory, we focus here on its highly critical role in exercise-induced muscle damage, EIMD. As seniors, consistent resistance training is the fundamental signal we must send to our muscles. However, if recovery is slow, if soreness persists for 3 or 4 days, seniors often skip workouts, accelerating muscle loss. Ginger contains compounds called gingerols that are powerful natural analgesics and anti-inflammatories. A randomized controlled trial from the University of Georgia demonstrated that daily ginger consumption reduced exercise-induced muscle pain by a significant 25%. Frank's take: ginger allows you to train consistently without crippling soreness. It fights the localized acute inflammation caused by exercise, which translates directly into better adherence to your training schedule. Better recovery equals more consistent training, which is the key to flipping that mTOR switch regularly and building cumulative muscle over weeks and months. It is the spice of longevity through consistency. For 5. The cellular shield, rosemary and thyme, the anti-aging defenders. Finally, we look to the common garden herbs that act as a powerful shield against cellular aging: rosemary and thyme. Both are packed with potent antioxidants, especially carnosic acid and rosmarinic acid. We haven't explicitly mentioned oxidative stress, but it's the quiet partner of inflammation, accelerating muscle cell damage by throwing toxic waste, free radicals, onto your muscle machinery. This rapidly ages and kills off muscle fibers. Carnosic acid, especially abundant in rosemary, has been shown in cell studies to protect muscle fibers from this oxidative damage and even enhance the differentiation of muscle cells. Another study from the Korean Journal of Food Science highlighted thyme's superior antioxidant capacity, suggesting it offers strong protection against lipid peroxidation, fat damage, in muscle tissue. Frank's take. Think of rosemary and thyme as your cellular protection crew. By neutralizing free radicals, they help maintain the integrity and longevity of your existing muscle fibers. They ensure that the precious muscle you do build lasts longer and functions better, fighting the age-related breakdown at a fundamental molecular level. They are your investment in muscle lifespan. The power of synergy. There you have it. The 5-cent secret. Turmeric, black pepper, cinnamon, ginger, and rosemary thyme. Each spice has a unique scientific role, but their real compounding power lies in their synergy. They work together to put out the fire, unplug the earplugs, optimize the fuel delivery, and protect the structure. This is the truly comprehensive, science-backed solution that is both effective and incredibly low cost. Now that we understand the why, the powerful science behind each ingredient, it's time to move on to the practical how. In our next section, I will give you the exact, simple, low-cost ways to integrate every single one of these spices into your daily routine starting tomorrow. You won't want to miss my favorite Golden Years Elixir recipe. The Daily Muscle Tune-Up Simple Recipes to Use the 5-Cent Secret starting today. We've covered the science, we've exposed the myths, and we've revealed the 5 key spices that fight sarcopenia at a cellular level. Turmeric, black pepper, cinnamon, ginger, and rosemary/thyme. Now, the most important question: how do you actually use them without radically changing your entire diet or spending hours in the kitchen? The goal of Golden Years Nutrition is to provide simple, low-cost consistency. Here are 3 ridiculously easy practical ways to integrate this 5-cent secret into your daily routine, starting this evening. The Golden Years Elixir, the morning immunity shot. This is my absolute favorite, and it's the best way to get a potent dose of the core anti-inflammatory agents right at the start of your day. I call it the Golden Years Elixir. It takes literally 60 seconds to prepare. The ingredients: the core 3. 1 cup of warm water or unsweetened almond milk. Turmeric. 1/2 teaspoon of high-quality ground turmeric. Black pepper. A generous pinch, about 1/8 teaspoon of fresh ground black pepper. Remember, this is the 2000 Bertol absorption booster. Don't skip it. Ginger. 1,400 teaspoon of powdered ginger or a thin slice of fresh ginger root. Optional bonus: a squeeze of lemon juice and a tiny dash of honey or maple syrup for taste. The method: simply combine the dry ingredients in the cup, pour in the warm liquid, and stir until combined. The science behind it: by taking this elixir first thing in the morning, you are delivering a direct, powerful hit of curcumin, boosted by piperine and the anti-inflammatory ginger. This is your first daily blow against chronic inflammation, setting the stage for your cells to be more receptive to protein signals throughout the rest of your day. It's your morning cellular tune-up. Do this before your first high-protein meal. The Anabolic Power Meal Spice Blend, the Lunchtime Optimizer. The best time to target anabolic resistance is during your largest protein meal, which for many seniors is lunch or early dinner. We are going to create a simple spice blend focused on optimizing protein utilization. The goal: Ensure your 25–30 grams of protein are used, not wasted. The ingredients: the growth accelerators. Cinnamon, 1 teaspoon. Rosemary, thyme, 1 teaspoon total, mixed or separate. Black pepper, another pinch for generalized nutrient absorption. The application: choose one. For sweet meals: yogurt/cottage cheese. Sprinkle the 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and the pinch of black pepper directly over your Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. Cinnamon's insulin-sensitizing properties work perfectly here. For savory meals: chicken, tuna, tofu. When preparing your chicken salad, egg salad, baked fish, or lentils, use the 1 teaspoon of rosemary and thyme with that pinch of black pepper. The science behind it. By using cinnamon with a carbohydrate or protein-rich food, you are leveraging its insulin mimetic effect, improving the efficiency of amino acid uptake. Meanwhile, rosemary and thyme provide the antioxidant defense against the oxidative stress generated during digestion and mild cellular activity, protecting the protein structure itself. It turns a simple meal into an anabolic power meal, sir. The nightly consistency routine, the recovery booster. The third essential habit is focused on continuous recovery and muscle pain reduction, ensuring you are ready for your next resistance training session. Consistency, remember, is the key to muscle growth. The method: we are targeting the recovery benefits of ginger. Ginger tea. Before bed, brew a simple cup of ginger tea. Use 1 teaspoon of shredded fresh ginger root or 1 teaspoon of dried ginger powder steeped in hot water. The science behind it. As we discussed, referencing the University of Georgia study, the gingerols in ginger significantly reduce delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS. Taking ginger before bed ensures that those anti-pain and anti-inflammatory compounds are circulating while your body is in its deepest recovery state. This means less soreness the next morning, making you far more likely to stick to your exercise schedule, the true enforcer of long-term muscle maintenance. Consistency is the real secret, frankly. You don't need a PhD to understand this. You need commitment to consistency, the 7-day challenge. I want to give you a challenge. For the next 7 days, commit to taking the Golden Years elixir in the morning and using the cinnamon black pepper blend on 1 meal a day. Just try it and pay attention to how you feel. Notice your energy levels, your clarity of mind, or your joint comfort. Expert advice. Integration. This is exactly the kind of synergistic nutritional advice that experts like Dr. Peter Attia and Dr. Walter Longo often discuss, using inexpensive natural compounds to enhance cellular signaling and metabolic health. You are doing advanced nutritional biohacking, but with 5-cent spices, not $50 pills. Final takeaway on cost. We estimated that the total cost of these 5 spices, purchased in bulk, is about 5 cents per day when used in these small, effective doses. Compare that to the $2,003 per scoop for premium protein powders, and you see the power of this science-backed, affordable approach. This is nutrition that empowers your independence without bankrupting your retirement fund. Remember, the spices do the cellular tuning, but you must provide the stimulus. Combine this spice routine with your consistent, safe resistance training, as simple as using resistance bands or doing chair squats, and you have the complete, scientifically sound protocol to beat sarcopenia after 65. Now that you know the how, let's quickly recap the entire sarcopenia solution so you can leave with a clear plan of action. We've reached the end of our journey, but this is truly just the beginning of your new, stronger life. In this deep dive, we've shifted your understanding of sarcopenia from a frustrating, expensive inevitability to a solvable, science-backed problem found right in your kitchen. The Sarcopenia Solution, a complete, integrated protocol. Let's quickly synthesize everything we've learned into one clear, powerful protocol, your definitive guide to beating muscle loss after 65. First, the problem. We identify the two silent enemies that are stalling your efforts: chronic inflammation, which acts as cellular rust and actively breaks down muscle, and anabolic resistance, which puts cellular earplugs on your muscle cells, making them frustratingly resistant to growth signals from protein. Second, the myth. We successfully debunked the expensive, frustrating myths that simply throwing huge scoops of protein powder or risking injury with heavy lifting is enough. Those solutions fail because they don't address the root biological cause, the rust or the earplugs. Third, the 5-cent secret, the cellular tune-up. Our solution lies in the brilliant synergy of 5 simple spices: turmeric and black pepper, the primary anti-inflammatory duo, removing the rust and boosting absorption by 2,000%. Cinnamon, the metabolic optimizer, improving insulin sensitivity to help unplug the earplugs. Ginger, the recovery accelerator, ensuring consistency by minimizing post-workout soreness. Rosemary and thyme, the cellular shields protecting existing muscle from oxidative stress. The integrated protocol. The 3 pillars of strength muscle maintenance is not a single fix. It's a 3-part synergistic system. Think of your body as a high-performance vintage car that needs 3 things to run perfectly. Pillar 1. The tune-up, the spices. This is the foundation. By using the Golden Years elixir and the anabolic power blend, you are performing the essential cellular tune-up. You are cleaning the engine and ensuring the electrical signals are clear. This step is non-negotiable. It makes pillars 2 and 3 effective. Pillar 2, the fuel. Protein. Now that your cells can hear the signal, you must provide the fuel. Remember the leucine threshold. Aim for 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein at every major meal. Our spices ensure this fuel is utilized, not wasted, finally giving your body the building blocks it craves. Pillar 3, the stimulus, consistent training. This is the non-negotiable activation signal. If you don't send the signal, the muscles won't grow. I'm not talking about aggressive, painful lifting. Use light weights, resistance bands, or chair sow squats, ensuring you push the muscle close to the point of temporary fatigue. Consistency beats intensity every single time. The true payoff: independence and financial freedom. Let's talk about the real-world value of this 5-cent secret. The true payoff of fighting sarcopenia isn't just about how you look. It's about maintaining your independence and your financial freedom. Clinical studies consistently show that low muscle mass is the single biggest predictor of frailty, falls, and needing long-term expensive care. Every ounce of muscle you preserve is a crucial deposit into your independence savings account. It's money and freedom kept in your pocket. Financial savings. By embracing this 5-cent solution, you are intelligently avoiding the hundreds of dollars spent annually on ineffective, overmarketed powders and expensive joint care supplements that only treat symptoms. This approach treats the root cause, affordably, powerfully, and permanently. Quality of life. The ability to lift your own luggage into the overhead compartment, play actively with your grandchildren without pain, or simply stand up from a chair without having to use your arms. That is the measure of true wealth in your golden years. This protocol gives you the biological tools to claim that wealth. As your health detective, my mission has always been to uncover the scientifically supported strategies that truly empower you. The path to vitality is paved with small, consistent, and inexpensive choices. You now possess the scientific blueprint to reclaim your strength and reverse the clock on muscle loss. You don't have to surrender to weakness. You are in control. I want to reinforce the challenge I gave you. Start the 7-day Golden Years Elixir Challenge tomorrow morning. Just try it and notice the difference in your energy, your clarity, and your overall sense of wellness. I read every single comment. I would love to hear from you right now. Which one of these 5 spices are you most excited to integrate into your routine first? Turmeric, cinnamon, or ginger? And why? Share your plan in the comments below. If you found this scientific breakdown helpful, empowering, and financially savvy, please do 3 crucial things. Click the thumbs up button. It signals the YouTube algorithm to share this vital, science-backed information with other seniors who need it. Share this video immediately with one friend or family member who you know needs this strength secret. And be sure to subscribe to Golden Years Nutrition so you don't miss our future videos designed to protect your health and your retirement fund. Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, live smart, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.